Will Camden Murphy hang on to the series points lead with Adam Anderson charging on for the Stadium Red Series Championship?
Look at that!
Can Cole Venard carry the momentum of an event win into US Bank Stadium?
That was huge.
Or will Mike Christensen continue to shine and get his second career competition win? Find out next with Stadium Championship Series Red. It's round 13 from Minneapolis here on Monster Jam. Welcome to the frozen tundra that is the Twin Cities, and tonight's home for round 13 of the Monster Jam season, US Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis. Hello everyone, I'm Scott Jordan alongside my broadcast partner Barry Musauer. And tonight on Stadium Championship Series Red, Camden Murphy still clinging to a 14-point lead over Adam Anderson. But Barry, Camden has been faltering a bit as of late. What does he need to do tonight in Minneapolis to get things back on track?
He's just going to have to not let that pressure get to him. You know, he's in first place, which is great, but you have to think 11 other competitors are going to want to beat you. So you have to not let that get to your head. I think Camden is his biggest, worst enemy when it comes to getting inside his head.
Well, heavy is the head that wears the crown, even when you're driving a giant dragon for a living. Cole Venard is a driver who has surprisingly flown under the radar so far this season, but the Black Pearl driver did take the event championship in Houston. Was that the beginning for a run here for Cole Venard?
It could be. You know, none of these competitors want Cole Venard to get on a roll because he is one of the most consistent competitors. He's almost like he can smell blood, you know, like a pirate should. So look out for Cole Venard.
He's a pure racer. He can get it done in the skills competition and freestyle. He lays down the walk, the plank, it's over. So surprising it took him this long to win the championship, but if he does it again, look out because he's sitting there in that fifth spot. We'll get to the point standings here in just a minute. But one driver who has been on an incredible run, maybe the run of his career, is Mike Christensen as he earned his first career Stadium freestyle win in Houston. And earlier we caught up with the Vendetta driver in this UNOH pit report.
Houston was a phenomenal experience. We landed like a picture-perfect backflip. I'm like 10 for 15 on backflip, so I mean, I'm comfortable doing them, but that one was like the best I've ever landed it and was able to continue. Once I landed it, I had my wife yelling in my ear, telling me to, you know, find the biggest hill and hit it, and so that's exactly what I did. It was Tom and Kayla, all of us was in a room, and Tom started clapping. He was like, "Man, you got it! Like you actually won this." And coming from the, you know, the professor of Monster Jam and in the monster truck events, like it's so cool to have, you know, him to share that moment with me and all the other drivers. You know, plus I had my wife with me, and it's always fun to have that first career freestyle win to share with my wife with me as well.
He'll try for a second freestyle win against these 11 other competitors. Barry, who do you like to contend for the event championship here in round 13?
I really have my eye on Bryce Kenny and the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior because this is the home of Great Clips. So he's got to want to shine here today, and I think he's up for the challenge.
And he made his debut in Great Clips Mohawk Warrior here, so a lot of history for Bryce Kenny. We talked about Camden Murphy and Adam Anderson at the top of the show. They are 1 and 2. We just mentioned Bryce Kenny. He's still in third, trailing Adam by 10. Tom Meents holding down the fourth spot, and Cole Venard coming off his event win is in fifth, but just 6 points ahead of Todd LeDuc. Already through 10 events, are there any surprises here for you?
You just named it. Todd LeDuc really stands out to me. He's in sixth spot right now, but he's not trailing Cole Venard by much, so anything can happen. I'm really looking for Todd to really pick it up as the season progresses.
If he wouldn't have started in ninth, he could be way up in the standings. So starting to make a charge here is the Megalodon driver. We'll see how that holds up tonight in Minneapolis. Drivers get 3 opportunities tonight to add to their series points as well as take home the event championship. Racing, the Great Clip Skills Challenge, and Freestyle is simple. The driver with the most points at the end of the event is crowned the overall event champion. And now we go to track talk. Barry, this track notorious at US Bank Stadium for a lot of carnage. Very tacky, very slick. You've been on it. If you're driving here tonight, how do you take the corners on a track like this?
Well, you're going to be carrying a lot of speed into that corner, so you really have to almost tiptoe around the corner, and hopefully your competitor's a little slower at it. Maybe they get up on the bicycle on 2 wheels, so it's really about not making that mistake. Give yourself a good chance at crossing that finish line.
cold weather outside have anything to do to impact this dirt?
Absolutely. The dirt may come inside the stadium frozen, so it's got to thaw out in here, so you can't help but to think that's going to affect the track conditions.
We're not going to have to wait long to find out. Up first, it's going to be racing in round one. Soldier Fortune, Max D, Kraken, Jester, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, Vendetta, Bakugan, Dragonoid, Gravedigger, Black Pearl, Velociraptor, and Grey Clips, Mohawk Warrior. Getting the first round buys. Barry, what matchup do you like in round one?
I love the father-son matchup. Kraken versus Jester. I love to see those guys go head-to-head to see who will come out victorious.
There's always bragging rights for the Pagliarulos. You know, Nick think he's got his dad, but his dad said, son, hang on, I taught you everything you know. Well, let's get to the racing competition. We go to the track. And lined up is going to be the 14-time World Finals champion Tom Meents in Max D. And he is going up against Kayla Blood in Soldier Fortune. It's a tough race for Kayla. Tom has a lot of history here at US Bank Stadium, Barry. He's won 2 racing competitions. We are off. And right now, look at that low center of gravity from Max D. That gives Tom the advantage. But look how wide he goes. And he pulls up on 3 wheels over that pond.
One thing that's different about Max D is this truck is one of the only ones in Monster Jam that has no sway bars. So I think that really bit him there in that corner.
And Kayla Blood with a surprising win here, an upset victories. You take a look at the original super glue glued to the action replay.
See, there's so much weight that transferred to the back of Max D when he made that tight turn, and it was just too much on this tacky dirt surface. Kayla Blood is across the finish line for the win.
Well, next up, it's that matchup you highlighted between the Pagliarulos out of Osteen, Florida. It is Matt in Jester versus Nick in Kraken. Of course, Nicky, former Monster Jam Rookie of the Year. They both have not had a whole lot of success this year in racing. It is the first time they have squared off against each other. And look at Matt pulling up a little slower, kind of giving his son a little, hey, man, I'm right here. I'm watching you. I got you. And we are off for bragging rights for Tomfoolery Motorsports. It is Nick Pagliarulo with the advantage into the corner.
All right, let's make sure these corners are nice and tight. Kraken had a great corner around that first turn. Let's see how the last turn plays out. This is going to tell it.
Long straightaway here. Great corner there from Matt, and he goes square up onto the pod. And that could give Nick the advantage across the finish line. Take a look at the super glue glued to the action replay.
Wow, this race changed leads probably 2 or 3 times during the whole event. Man, what a photo finish.
Matt had it won, but he went across that pod. That gave Nick a little window to get in there, and he took the win. Our third matchup features Jamie Garner and El Toro Loco, but there is his opponent, Todd LeDuc, in Megalodon getting taken out. He could not start, so possibly a starter. We talked about Todd at the top of the broadcast. It is a tough break because he is on a late season surge here.
Yeah, that's something you never want to see when you're trying to make up ground. And Jamie Garner and El Toro Loco, he's going to take full advantage of it.
Just got to cross the finish line, and he goes slow, and we got some smoke coming out. That looks like a transmission. He may have just blown a transmission there, Barry. He's not going to be able to make it across. Wow,
talk about not being able to take advantage of a handed opportunity. I've never seen this before. Both of these trucks did not cross the finish line.
Well, we're going to have to figure out what happens going into the next round, but first we have one more matchup left. It is the series points leader, Camden Murphy, in Bakugan Dragonoid up against Mike Christensen in Vendetta. Camden 13-7 on the year with 3 wins. That leads Stadium Championship Series red. And here we go, final round 1 matchup. Vendetta with the lead going into that turn.
There's one thing about the Team Throttle Monster trucks. Their stable of Monster Jam trucks makes some horsepower, and he showed it there on the starting line.
And look at that incredible turn there for Camden Murphy, and he accelerates across the finish line, and he's going to come from behind. Perfect corner. Take a look at the original super glue glued to the action replay.
Camden was able to keep that last corner nice and tight, and that's what gave him that truck length advantage across the finish line for the win.
Had to come from behind, turned it on in the straightaway, perfect corner, gets it done. And Camden Murphy just recorded the fastest time in round 1. And with the second fastest time, it's going to be Mike Christensen, who will come back into round 2 due to there being no winner in the Megalodon El Toro Loco race. And he's going to face his teammate Travis Mowry. There's the matchups: Gravedigger, Soldier Fortune, Black Pearl, Kraken, Velociraptor, Vendetta, and Grey Clips, Mohawk Warrior, Bakugan, Dragonoid. Adam Anderson has the highest winning percentage in racing. He's won 8 out of his last 9. Can he continue his winning ways? Find out when Gravedigger hits the track next on Monster Jam. Welcome back to Minneapolis, and after one of the wildest first rounds of racing I've ever witnessed, it's time for round 2. We talked about this track causing carnage, and it did. And up first, here is Adam Anderson, the 5-time World Finals champion, and he's going up against Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune. Adam, as I mentioned, has a series best 72% winning percentage here, and he's going to put that to the test against Kayla Blood.
They're off to a great even start. These corners are going to tail to tail, and Kayla looks like she's ahead right now.
Adam's 3 wins at US Bank Stadium are the most all-time in Monster Jam. You want to talk about perfect corners. It doesn't get any better than that. Kayla goes sideways. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Take a look at the super glue to the action replay.
I'm noticing, Scott, this track is tacky in spots, but it's also slick in spots. You saw Kayla spin out right there. She poured the power to Soldier Fortune, and the track could not handle it.
Adam Anderson, another win as he tries to add on to his season best total. Next out is Cole Venard in the Black Pearl against former Rookie of the Year Nick Pagliarulo in Kraken. Cole 500 on the year with 1 racing win. 3 of those wins of his 10 have come at the hands of Nick Pagliarulo, so a lot of success for Cole up against Nick. And here we go, but right now it is Nick Pagliarulo who has the advantage.
Yes, and hopefully he doesn't let those statistics get in his head. He's got to run this race on the track right now. Cole has the lead. Let's see if he can maintain it across this last turn.
Final corner, Cole Venard squared up, and Nick Pagliarulo, who was in the other lane in his first matchup, paid the price. Take a look at the original super glue, glued to the action replay.
When you round this last corner, you're kind of eye to eye with your competitor. You can kind of look into their windshield and see their eyes, but you don't want to focus on that. You got a job to do, and that's crossing that finish line first.
Third matchup is all-team throttle monsters. Travis Mowry faces off with Mike Christensen. Mike lost in round 1, but he did have the second fastest time of any driver in round 1, so he gets another opportunity here. But against Travis Mowry, his teammate, he's lost both opportunities when he squares off against Travis. We'll see if that changes here. We are set at the line. It is Velociraptor Vendetta. And here we go, Team Throttle Monster. Either way, one of them is moving on. And into that first corner, Mike Christensen goes wide. Travis takes it nice and narrow.
And there's the advantage for Velociraptor, because they were dead even across that finish line when they crossed that first jump.
And over the finish line goes Velociraptor. Travis Mowry improves to 3-0 against Mike Christensen. Take a look at the original super glue replay.
I love the angle, the approach that Travis Mowry took on that last turn. He had the truck rotated, and he was charging hard to the finish line.
So Velociraptor will advance to the semifinals. Our final matchup in round 2 is a final at any event in the world, as Bryce Kenny will square off against Camden Murphy. Great look at Bakugan Dragonoid pulling to the line. And at the home of Great Clips, Bryce Kenny going to try to make them proud. Bryce comes in here with a great record on the year. He is 16-7. Camden no slouch either at 14-7. Only one will advance. And right across that line, we have a dead even race into that first corner. And look at Bryce Kenny squaring that truck up. Bakugan hitting that throttle.
Wow, nobody's done that right lane. Oh, no, these guys are all over.
Going over. Oh, my goodness. We saw a match in round 1 where nobody finished. Now we get a second one. This track living up to its hype. Take a look at the super glue, glue to the action replay.
You know, just as I said earlier, with the track being slick right there, it bit Bryce Kenny, and at the same time, Camden Murphy got bit as well by the track. So the track is 2-0 on this race right here.
Camden would have saw Bryce roll. All they had to do was square up, and he couldn't get it done. This bracket all over the place, barring either Great Clips Mohawk Warrior or Bakugan Dragonoid will advance. So guess what that means? Vendetta coming back again. Mike Christensen gets another opportunity as we continue moving on. Coming up, the first 12 points of the night will be awarded. Who will take the overall event lead? Find out next on Monster Jam. Welcome back to Minneapolis for round 13, where we have reached the racing semifinals. And up first is Adam Anderson with Gravedigger up against his former crew chief, Cole Venard, driving the Black Pearl. A lot of bragging rights on the line here. We know how badly Cole loves to beat Adam Anderson.
Yeah, anytime you can line up against the guy who you turned wrenches for on Gravedigger, the legend, for years, and now you're face-to-face on this track here in Minneapolis. I can't wait for this last turn, Scott.
Big lead for Adam Anderson going into that corner. Whoa. He's going up too. We saw Camden Murphy do it. Adam Anderson did not learn from watching Camden's mistake, and Cole Venard gets the win. Here's the original super glue, glue to the action replay.
Wow, and Adam Anderson just carried a little too much momentum into that last turn. He was super tight, and he was going fast, which rolled Gravedigger on its side.
Our next race is a rematch from the last round. Travis Mowry in Velociraptor going at it once again with Mike Christensen in Vendetta. And Mike, for losing a couple races here, sometimes you just got to keep your truck on all 4 wheels, and we've seen hardly anybody do that.
He's been consistent, and it's great to see him being so consistent in one of his favorite stadiums. Always great to do good when you're in a place that you love.
And he's got the lead right now. He does go wide on that turn. And watching Travis Mowry, he is one of the best turning drivers on this series, and he shows it right there, checks up just enough, and he's going to cross the finish line first. So Travis Mowry now improving to 4-0 against his teammate Mike Christensen. The final round is set. It will be Travis Mowry in Velociraptor with lane choice going up against Cole Venard in the Black Pearl. Barry, this is going to be a good final race, man.
It's going to be great. I can't wait to see it myself. These guys are going to have to learn to take those turns a little slower.
There is Cole Venard. He is making his third finals race of the season. He is 1-1 in his previous 2. Travis Mowry has made the final round 3 previous times. He has yet to win a racing competition. One gets the first 12 points of the night. It is Cole Venard. It is Travis Mowry. And here we go in Minneapolis. It is Velociraptor with the lead. And watch this corner right there from Travis Mowry.
Wow, they both had great corners. This is going to come down to the final turn here, Scott.
Cole Venard on that straightaway gave it to him, and look at Cole Venard pushing it across the finish line. An incredible come from behind win. Travis Mowry pushed him to the right lane. Cole Venard made him pay.
Cole had the momentum coming out of that turn. He went a little bit wider than Travis, but the Black Pearl accelerated across that finish line. He had just enough room to edge out that win.
So Cole follows up his event win in Houston with his second racing win of the season. Not rolling over was a great strategy for Cole as he gets 12 points. And we take a look at our first BKT overall point standings. Travis Mowry 1 behind Mike Christensen. Great opportunity for him. He is 2 off the lead. Adam Anderson 3 points behind. And Nick Pagliarulo is currently in 5th. Up next in Minneapolis was the Great Clip Skills Challenge. In this competition, drivers could attempt 2 technical maneuvers on 2 wheels, or they could do a donut. They were judged by fans in attendance on creativity, skill, and execution. With 12 points on the line, we're going to take a look back at our top 5 competitors. And here is Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken with a nice stoppie into a nose wheelie.
Nick has become pretty well known for this move. He's real comfortable with it, but he puts his own little flair on it, which I love.
Here's Tom Mentz coming off the race ramp. He's going to go into a stoppie. They're calling this the donkey kick, Barry.
Wow. Well, I'm going to stick with the momentum moonwalk. I like that terminology as well. And of course, the Professor Tom Mentz. He puts on a clinic each and every time out there on the track.
We'll just combine them, the maximum kick there. Coming in third, Tom the Duke and Megalodon gets a bicycle onto the sidewalls.
Whoa, man, he carried that really far over there.
And second place, JV Garter gets El Toro Loco back for a big-time sky wheelie.
Oh, I love the old school move. That could have been bad, but he saved it. Great positioning there.
And how about Mike Christensen here? He gets that stoppie into the moonwalk, teeter-totters the seesaw.
Oh, I like it. That's something you don't see too often, especially for Mike Christensen. Hang on to it, man.
Bold words there from Mike Christensen. He gets 12 more points as we take a look at our second BKT overall point standings. He's got 22. Cole Venard now 4 behind. Nick Pagliarulo, Adam Anderson, and Travis Mowry all locked in the middle, 6 points off the lead. Mike Christensen is 1 competition away from his first career event championship. Will he get it? Find out when we come back with more Monster Jam. We are back at US Bank Stadium for round 13 of the Monster Jam season. So far, the night has belonged to Mike Christensen, who we heard from at the top of the show. 3rd in racing, 1st in skills. It's already been a great night so far. 1 competition remains. Can Mike Christensen pull off the first event championship of his career?
He can. He's just going to have to do exactly what he said in his interview. I mean, Vendetta, I can't wait to see what the truck looks like after Freestyle. If he's got any shot, he's going to have to bring it. I'm talking the backflip, wow factor, you name it.
Well, he did say they'd have to take it off in a body bag if he's going to win this thing. We'll see. Camden Murphy's on the other side of that equation. He's had a rough night so far, finishing 7th in racing and 11th in skills. So the series points lead for him unofficially is now down to 6 points going into Freestyle. Barry, can Camden even salvage his night at this point?
Camden, listen to me, okay? You're going to have to forget about the first half of this event and focus on Freestyle, man. That's the only way to keep your foot on the gas and put pressure back on all these competitors that are trying to get that points lead.
Well, not only has Camden had a rough night, Bakugan Dragonoid has had a rough night. And for an update on the status of the truck, let's join Camden Murphy in this UNOH pit report.
Cam, talk to us about what is going on with your truck right now.
You know, today has been an absolute nightmare for us. Racing didn't quite go our way for a couple of us. Broken an inner axle, fixed that, but the 3rd member was broken as well. So tried to go out there, do the best I possibly could for all the Monster Jam fans out there in skills. But right now, we're putting all the axles back in, the 3rd member's in. All of these Monster Jam crew members back here are so good at what they do. They have been hustling ever since I got back in here. We'll be back for Freestyle just to tear it all up again. I can't wait to get back out there, Minneapolis.
That's It's great news for Camden Murphy. Nothing seems to faze him at all. And we'll see how it works out as we take a look at the current BKT overall point standings. As we mentioned, Mike Christensen with that lead at 22. Cole Venard in second, 4 behind. And then a cluster in the middle. Nick Pagliarulo, Adam Anderson, Travis Mowry, all 6 points away from that lead. And in freestyle, Vendetta will go last, so Mike will know exactly where he sits in relation to his event championship chances. Cole Venard will go in the coveted 9th spot. In that cluster in 3rd right now, as I mentioned, Nick Pagliarulo gets to go first. Adam Anderson in a rare spot coming out 4th, and then Travis Mowry enters the freestyle track in 8th. So Barry, looking at the freestyle order of those drivers that are sitting there, those 3 drivers I mentioned that are tied 6 points off the lead, who do you think is in the best position to make a run at the event championship?
Adam Anderson is right in that sweet spot. He goes out 4th. I mean, he could be one of the first to hit the backflip ramp, which usually what it takes to get a really high score. So he's in a perfect spot.
And if you're Mike Christensen and you are sitting back now, you won freestyle, he's going last, and since he won in the last event, you got to watch 11 other drivers go before you. So are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you sweating a little bit knowing what's at stake for you here?
All of the above, Scott, because you have to be able to top what everybody else does in front of you, and that is not easy. Let me tell you, I've been in that position before.
It's been a run of first for him. He got his first freestyle win last round. He gets his first skills win here. So what a capping off point it would be for him to get his first overall event championship. And I can't remember any time in Monster Jam history where a driver has gone 0-3 in the racing bracket and won an event championship. That just shows you how much charisma, stamina, and talent Mike Christensen has.
For sure. I mean, and a little bit of luck. You can't leave that out. A lot of his competitors helped him out, but I'll take it. I know Mike will take it as well.
Well, let's get back to the action at US Bank Stadium. Out on the track first, out of Osteen, Florida, 2019 Monster Jam Rookie of the Year, Nick Pagliarulo. And as we mentioned, he is one of those drivers that is tied for 3rd, 6 points behind Mike Christensen. So nothing is off the table here. There's still a shot here for Nick Pagliarulo to win the event championship, which would be a first for him as well.
And Nick is really in control of his own destiny right here, along with our Monster Jam fans, because they are the ones that really control the scoring when it comes to Monster Jam freestyle. But he's got to connect with them. Big air wow factors is always a key, and he's doing it right here. Kraken looks great. Looks like the truck is landing phenomenally.
And he does have one freestyle win on the season back in Tampa, which obviously was a Crash Madness Award winner nominee. He just tore that chassis apart. So it is great to see Kraken looking good and back in competition. Nick is one of those drivers, Barry, who's one of the young superstars in Monster Jam. He learned from his dad. They have done everything on their own in their shop in Osteen, Florida. He has really elevated himself to be one of the up-and-coming superstars and deserved that Rookie of the Year award.
That's one of the things I love is how hard he drives this truck, knowing that he's gonna have to put it back together if anything is broken. And Nick does not even care about that. He throws caution to the wind, whether he goes out first or last. He's definitely got a bright future when it comes to Monster Jam.
He had a great stand-up vertical wheelie. Now he's got some momentum. He's got some air. No big transfer jump here. So it's a wide-open stadium at US Bank as he runs right into the inside of that container. We might see a backflip here if he can turn the truck around. He is going to try to get it lined up. I don't like the angle here, Barry, so he's going to back it up. You never want to see that, but you need speed, you need momentum. And here comes Kraken, first backflip of the night. And he cuts it a little short. He's going to land it, but I got to wonder what damage he did to that Kraken truck.
Yeah, it looked like the truck kind of stalled in midair right here. Maybe a little bit of timing issue on the throttle to really complete that rotation. And I didn't like that landing either. I bet something's probably broken in the front end.
Still got the backflip. We are just getting started with freestyle. Stay right where you are. More Stadium Championship Series Red action is next on Monster Jam. Welcome back to US Bank Stadium, where earlier today, thousands of Monster Jam fans came in from the cold to hang out at the pit party, meet the drivers, see the trucks, and you can join us at the pit party at a Monster Jam event near you. We're during the break. Freestyle continue with Matt Pagliarulo in Jester. He would hit a backflip and land it, but the score not really elevated there, 8.469.
Wow, that was a perfect rotation on that backflip.
And then it was Kayla Blood's turn. She would go for the backflip as well and land hers. She would get a slightly higher score at 8.542.
Huge air on that backflip from Kayla.
And now we jump back into the action with 5-time World Finals champion Adam Anderson in Gravedigger.
All right, this is the spot I talked about. He's in 4th position coming out in freestyle order, so this is his time to be able to go out there and really shine.
And Adam leads the series with 3 freestyle wins. He also trails Mike by 6 points, but the series points lead also in play here, Bari. Adam unofficially, as we mentioned during the event recap, just 6 points off of Camden.
Yeah, and right now, Adam's just having fun, I believe, and he's really thinking, okay, I'm chipping away at this lead, but there's no pressure. All the pressure is on Camden, and Camden is kind of faltering right now, so it's up to Adam to really just keep his foot on the gas, so to speak.
It's a momentum shift, and we've seen this multiple times in Monster Jam. You have one driver going south, one driver going north, and at some point you think that they're going to meet in the middle, but right now Adam Anderson has just taken the reins of this series and is really putting a lot of pressure on Camden Murphy. There's a nice donut, shades of his dad, Dennis Anderson.
A lot of variety when it comes to Adam Anderson in freestyle. I love to see the dirt flying as he hits these jumps off camber. He was one of the first drivers to really invent cross-threading, and now we have jumps like that that are built in to cross-thread across the track at a 45-degree angle.
He's got one career freestyle win at US Bank Stadium. Huge air for Gravedigger. That's what you want to see off the ragged edge. Goes right over that jammer and off to the far side. He might lose this bicycle save.
That's great because that's the first save that really the Monster Jam fans have seen here, and I think it's attributed to, I think he's got a broken rear sway bar, and that's causing the truck to rear up on 2 wheels like that. Let's see if it's still able to get him something as far as maybe a backflip or another wow factor.
Yeah, he's lined up here for something. He's going in for the backflip, so broken sway bar doesn't matter. Adam Anderson gonna lay one down, and he lands it. What a move there for the 18-year Monster Jam veteran.
He's still got a lot of luck on his side because that sway bar broke in a spot where it's still okay from a safety standpoint to keep Gravedigger rolling, and the fans are loving it.
Well, there's your wow moment jump as the seconds tick away, and that is finally gonna do it. But what a run. It had to stop at some point. Take a look at the original super glue, glued to the action replay.
This is where we knew that the sway bar was broken. The rear suspension really was wonky right there, but it didn't matter when you're hitting a backflip straight on, and he nailed it.
So Adam Anderson will now take the freestyle lead as we look at the score, 9.585. That is a big score. That is almost an unbeatable score. And speaking of unbeatable, a guy who's been unbeatable for the first part of the season, and we talked about that slide. Here is Camden Murphy clinging to that series points lead with Adam Anderson now leading freestyle. Camden Murphy cannot afford to get a low score here tonight.
As if there wasn't enough pressure, Adam just laid down a great run, the highest score of the night so far, and now Camden has to follow that. That's one of the hardest things to do, is to follow a great freestyle run and match that energy. So let's see what Camden's got. Is he up to the challenge or not?
Well, he's making his 3rd start at US Bank Stadium. He does have an overall event championship here back in 2019. He's got 3 freestyle wins in 2023. So Camden Murphy trying to hang on here. A lot of pressure on him. He's just not faltered, never flustered. I've talked to Camden, hundreds of times. I've interviewed him, just casual conversation. Nothing phases him. He could come out, finish dead last, come out, have the truck bail on him during the intros, and still smiles about it.
Yeah, and I know he's got a point to prove to all those great Monster Jam technicians behind the scene that fixed his truck so that he can even be out here for Monster Jam Freestyle, for these great fans here who brave the cold weather in Minneapolis, because I've been to Minneapolis and it is cold this time of year.
Absolutely brutal. That's why this is a dome stadium, home of the Minnesota Vikings. And here comes Camden Murphy now on the near side of the track. He is going all the way across the straightaway, picking up momentum. And we got a backflip in line here for Bakugan Dragonoid. Gets it in nice and slow, steady, and he brake checks it, lands it, and he's got a moonwalk on the backside.
Perfect. Wow, he got back in the throttle really aggressive. Oh no.
Right off the side, and he's got the save. This is a great run. This is a freestyle winning run right here for Camden Murphy. Take a look at the original super glue, glued to the action replay.
Wow, and look at the score. It doesn't really reflect the last part of his freestyle because that was pretty epic. But right there is where he got in that throttle, and then the end just continued to get worse and worse for that front suspension, but he had enough momentum to land back on all 4 times.
That is a low score. Gravedigger has a lead. It's been backflip city here so far, 5 for 5 in freestyle. Can the streak continue? Find out next on Monster Jam. Welcome back to Minneapolis with Stadium Championship Series Red. One of these 12 drivers will win the series championship and head to World Finals 22 in Nashville, where they will compete for up to 4 World Finals championships. If you want to join us at Nissan Stadium on July 1st, make sure to go to monsterjam.com for tickets and more information. Moments ago, the backflip streak stopped at 5 as Jamie Garner's run stopped with 65 seconds left due to a broken spindle on El Toro Loco. So tough break and no backflip city anymore.
Oh man, you hate that for the Monster Jam fans. I know a lot of El Toro Loco fans there in Minneapolis.
Well, hey, luckily Todd LeDuc was right there to pick it back up with another backflip in Megalodon. He gets an 8.334, throwing in a shark bicycle for a little exclamation point.
Well, I like that. Shark bicycle. I thought you were going to say shark bite.
I should have said Sharknado. Travis Mowry got one of his own in a Velociraptor, and that earned him an 8.429. So far, Jamie Garner, the only driver that hasn't hit a backflip, and his teammate now is coming onto the track. Cole Venard, the event champion from Houston, trying to get another freestyle win under his belt for his career.
All right, and as you can see, the roof of the Black Pearl is already showing signs that it's not going to hang on too much longer. And, oh, I was tricked there. I thought it was coming off right there. But love to see the carnage, especially from a fan aspect. They love to see pieces and parts just flying off, and the Black Pearl is adding right to that.
He didn't trick me at all on them. So Cole has 2 freestyle wins in his career at US Bank Stadium. This stadium only 6 years old, so that puts him, actually 7 years old now, 2023. That puts him second all time in Monster Jam. So I don't care how old a stadium is, if it's 1 year old and your name is on that list of the top drivers to win something somewhere, that's pretty special.
It is for sure. And every time you get to come back to a building that you've done well in, it's always a boost for your confidence. And Cole Venard is riding high on the confidence level. He's got the win in racing. So I know freestyle, he's just gonna be out here having a lot of fun.
He has the 3rd highest freestyle average on the series. No wins yet on the season as he comes off the backside of the ramp right through the crush cars. Cole Venard now driving around by the backflip ramp. We can see another one here. He's stopping short.
It's just gonna get lined up. It's really methodical here on the approach of the backflip. You gotta make sure your timing is down, and Cole Venard nailed it.
And he's got another one. No moonwalk on it, no walk the plank, but a backflip nonetheless. Now let's see what the Black Pearl's got. He is hitting that throttle. He is coming up. Huge sky wheelie. Brake check, just gingerly down on the backside of that ramp.
Wow, and the dirt is flying. Cole Venard is having fun now at this moment. After you land that backflip, it's like caution gets thrown to the wind.
Take a look here at the original Super Glue, glued to the action replay.
I love the rotation here when you can get it just perfect. If he could have grabbed reverse a little bit sooner, he might have been able to do that backflip to moonwalk that everybody loved.
So Cole had trailed Mike Christensen by 4 points, so he would have needed to take the lead from Adam Anderson to really cement his shot at the event championship. A guy who's won many event championships in his career is this driver right here, the 14-time World Finals champion, Tom Meents, celebrating 20 years of maximum destruction.
I love to watch Tom's truck as it's different from anybody else's truck on the circuit. It's got a front engine, it's got coil springs on the shocks with no sway bars, so it's a completely different recipe, and it definitely gets the job done. And oh, I thought he was going for a maximum momentum moonwalk right there, but he didn't quite get enough rebound on the back shocks.
Tom making his 9th start at US Bank Stadium. In his 8 previous starts, he's won 3 out of 8 event championships. 3 out of 8 is pretty darn good.
That's really great, and to be able to celebrate his 20th anniversary this year and still competing at such a high level, I love the fact that Tom Meents, the professor, is still out here teaching all the competitors.
He turns out inwards toward the track's going to thread the needle a little bit. Line up here over by the ramp, and the jammer gives a little brake check. Here's a stoppie. That's what he was doing. You mentioned methodical earlier. That word sticks with me because that was a methodical move. That's why they call him the professor.
Yes, it's wild to think about Monster Jam Freestyle, how your adrenaline is riding high, but at that moment you have to really slow down your breathing and your approach and really take your time.
He's got a great approach to the backflip ramp. He skies Max D, and he lands it perfectly. Another backflip ramp, and we got some fire going on and some smoke. The run is over. Tom is okay. And let's take a look now at the original Super Glue, glued to the action replay.
textbook run by Tom Meents. The only thing I think he was missing was that wow factor. He made it look a little too easy, and I think sometimes that might hurt your score.
Well, look at the score, 8.854. The fans have already seen the backflips now, so they're getting a little bit hard to impress. As we take a look at the current freestyle leaderboard, it is apparent that an 8 anything isn't going to cut it. Now with 9 backflips so far, Gravedigger has the score to beat with just 2 trucks remaining. The event championship chase is down to 2. Will it be Adam Anderson or Mike Christensen? Find out next when we return with more Monster Jam. We are back in Minneapolis, the home of Great Clips. Got a big contingent out here tonight, which puts the spotlight on Bryce Kenny. He's a fiery competitor on the track, one of the best people you'll ever know off the track. And we got to spend some time at home with Bryce in Kernersville, North Carolina. Take a look.
I'm Bryce Kenny, and welcome to my life off the track. The town of Kernersville is just kind of that perfect place for me to reset when I'm home. An ability to kind of leave the worries of the road and everything that we work so hard towards, and I can just be a dad, I can just be a father again. So my background with motorsports, it's generational. The very first time I got in a race car, I was 8 years old in our family junior dragster. For the next 5 years, that's what I would do. That's how I spent all of my summers. My whole life changed when I became a dad. Life away from competition is a lot of fun for me because I've got 3 little kids and I get to watch them grow, but I want to engage with them and I want them to know that when I'm home, I'm home. My ultimate hope for my children is that they end up doing something that they love. I hope they do something that scares them. I hope they have big enough dreams that intimidate them, and I hope that they have the courage to chase them. I think hobbies are really important for anybody, and for myself, it has to do with a lot of car stuff and engine stuff, and that's my background. And so now I'm older and I get to do that with cars and Mustang motors and things that I love that make a lot of horsepower. And so now I get to kind of find these hobbies that I'm doing with my children, and my big thing is hobbies make us passionate, and I think that hopefully one day you kind of find your purpose through that, and that's what I want for my kids. So the dream of my family was always to find that big name sponsor and to represent a brand and to be an ambassador for a brand that we believed in. And here I am getting to do that on a national scale for a company that has been incredible to the Monster Jam community. It's been the biggest honor of my professional career. Motorsports are in my blood. I feel like I was raised to do what I get to do today. And all of my stories and my chapters in life, they're all tied back into racing. And the fact that I get to do that as a career now with Monster Jam is incredibly special for me.
Well, we just saw him off the track. Now he's hitting the track. Bryce Kenny in Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. There's not a more perfect ambassador for Great Clips than Bryce Kenny. And when you look at that company, just phenomenal partner from top to bottom. And if you want to join Mohawk Nation, make sure to download the Great Clips app to find a salon near you. And now, it's great to see Bryce in that family environment. He is just a truly nice guy. But on the track, man, he is a fiery competitor, and he will take your head off if you let him.
Exactly, Scott. As you mentioned, Bryce is one of the most eloquent Monster Jam athletes you're gonna come across, and now he can connect with his fans through the right foot of the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. I'm talking about that throttle pedal, and that's how he's connecting with these fans right now, in the home of Great Clips, I might add. So this is big for him, and I don't think he's backing down from this challenge one bit.
Not at all. He made his first start in Great Clips Mohawk Warrior here in 2016. Freestyle is the only competition he has not won at US Bank Stadium. He's doing everything he can to change that here, but these scores now, we saw Adam Anderson's run and what he got. We saw what Camden Murphy got in his run. Bryce Kenny going to try to change that here with a backflip, but what can he do besides a backflip as he goes low, spins it around, sheds the body parts, and he's got a great one. Now he's backing up. I think he should have just kept it in reverse and tried something new.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a little tweaked sway bar in the back as well, so maybe this is going to play out to his advantage. You got to have that wow factor, something that the fans haven't seen yet, and anytime you have a truck that maybe not running 100%, it might work out in your advantage. You just never know, as he's hitting that jump crazy right now.
Cross-threading, trying to make something happen. He can try to save this. He's going round and round, and they are going to get it over on all 4 BKT tires. That has got to be the save of the night. These fans going nuts. Let's see how they score Bryce Kenny as we take a look at the original Super Glue glued to the action replay.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Bryce came off the backflip, which We've had a lot of backflips tonight. Everybody's seen it. So he had to make something out of nothing. And he comes up with this crazy move right here. And he had enough momentum going to be able to save the truck back on all 4 BKT tires.
Look at the score, 8.945, so a backflip and a save like that, still not enough for a 9 from this Minneapolis crowd. Our final competitor has a chance to make history here. It's Mike Christensen in Vendetta. We talked about the first skills win. We talked about the first freestyle win. He has a chance for his first career event championship here tonight. He doesn't have to win freestyle, Bari. He just has to finish 6th or better. Can he get it done?
He can get it done, but let me just tell you, Bryce Kenny upped the ante. Even though he didn't get a great score on his freestyle, the crowd was buzzing because anytime you have a wow factor like that where you can save the truck and bring it back on all 4 BKT tires, then you've got to match that energy. So Mike Christensen, he's got a tough task at hand right now.
And I think he realizes that because he slapped the Vikings flag on the back of that truck. So he's trying to get those brownie points from this Minneapolis crowd. Great jump there. You hear that throttle rhythm coming out of Vendetta. Those headlights flashing. 9.585 is the score to beat from Gravedigger. He's had the lead for quite a while, and Mike is going all in here, cashing those chips in early. He's got the backflip, and he's going to land a little short. Broken axle, but he still gets back on all 4 BKT tires. Take a look at the original super glue replay.
Oh man, just a little bit of under rotation, which caused him to break that front tie bar. That's why you see those front 2 tires go in opposite directions. But look at the score, Scott. I think it's still enough.
Let's take a look at our freestyle top 5. Gravedigger going to win this one. 9.585 was the score. Great Cups Mohawk Warrior in 2nd. Bakugan Dragonoid in 3rd. Max D in 4th. And Kraken in 5th. And now we're going to take a look at our final BKT overall point standings of the night. Mike Christensen did finish in 6th in freestyle. Look at that board, 29 points. Gets him the event championship. Adam Anderson finishes in 2nd. Nick Pagliarulo in 3rd. Tom Mintz in 4th. And then Bryce Kenny finishes in 5th with 20. So the celebration is on for Mike. It's his first career event championship. And let's hear from our event winner.
It's a crazy night, man. I struggled in racing. Had to race my teammate twice. I made it all the way to the semifinals. I choked again, but you know what? It was fun. I won 2 wheel skills. I'm not a big fan of 2 wheel skills, but it was actually a good time. I mean, I pulled off a pretty gnarly stoppie and kept walking it back and forth. Almost ripped my pretty headlights off, but saved her at the last minute and got a pretty high score. So I was pretty happy with that. And then freestyle, man, I just had to outdo Cole Venard in Black Pearl. He had a stellar run, and I was almost to the end. I flipped, came a little short, jacked up the front end, and I didn't even know I won the overall. I'm just so pumped, excited that I scored high enough to win the overall. And here I am, man, my very first overall, Minneapolis, Minnesota, US Bank Stadium. And I get to do it right here. Team Throttle Monsters, my wife, Travis, couldn't ask for anything better.
You got to be happy for Mike. He has busted his tail for a lot of years. Well deserved. He is now on the run of his career. But Bari, can he keep it up?
He can, you know, and he's just got to keep that momentum from this high of winning, you know, so that's a good feeling, and it really is paying off for him.
Well, to find out if Mike and Team Throttle Monster can continue this incredible run, make sure you join us when we return to US Bank Stadium for another round with Stadium Championship Series Red. For Bari Musauer, I'm Scott Jordan. Good night from Minneapolis and the Monster Jam Studios. We'll see you next time right here on Monster Jam.